Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Painting with Yovette. This is segment 1, and I'm starting off with my 3/4 inch brush. This is my favorite brush for backgrounds. And my canvas size is going to be a 9 by 12. I kind of like this smaller canvas for some things. And this flower, being that it's acrylic and acrylic dries fast, this is the perfect size for it. So I have my water here. I'm going to start by dipping my brush in and just wiping it off. Blot on a paper towel, not a lot, just a little bit, just to get any excess off, and then dip into my medium. And then I want to start off by using white. I'm going to get this medium on my canvas, add a little white, and just start working back and forth. And this will go on pretty easily, and if you find it's a little dry, just add a little touch of water and or medium, either one. But getting that white undercoat on there, that's the first thing I want to do. So now I want to start out with adding a little bit of green, the sap green, up in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm just crisscrossing and mixing around. It doesn't have to be spread out real even because this is going to be a little bit blotchy. And this is the same kind of a background that I did with the bird's nest, if any of you saw the bird's nest one, which I know some of you did because I've been getting really fun pictures of the bird's nest that you've been painting, which has been really neat. You gals know who I'm talking about, don't you? Oh. Anyway, so I've added my little blue-green, and I'm just mixing up my colors. I'm just adding a little bit of this and that, and just whatever I feel like. You do not have to use my colors. You can use any background colors that you like. I think they'll all be beautiful no matter what you use. So if you have a favorite background color, by all means use that. So adding a little green up here in the upper right. And then I want to add some blue to that. I love the blue-green combination. To me, it's just very pleasant. So just still mixing around. This part of the video is going to be fairly short compared to my usual ones for a beginning painting. So again, I've cleaned my brush. I've dipped into the medium and the water, and now I want to go into yellow, because I want a brighter spot right here. Doesn't have to be real bright, but just a little bit of light. And I wish I had Indian yellow for this, but acrylic, I don't think the acrylic has Indian yellow, so I'm using cad yellow light. Anyway, cleaning my brush again and just blotting out the excess water. What I want to do now is just start blending ever so lightly. Big crisscross strokes, just blending out whatever I can. And I still want a little bit of texture in there, so I'm not making it 100% smooth, but just smooth enough. But you make yours how you like it. Some people love that blotchy texture. I'm not a big fan of it, but if you are, just do that. See, big crisscross strokes. Very easy to do. And this goes fairly fast, and this will stay fairly damp for the whole time that you're working on it. So I'm adding a little bit more alizarin to this corner. I just want to darken this just a tiny bit. Okay, that ends that segment. The next segment is adding the foliage. I'm just going to start out with the larger brush. I'm going to dip into water, wipe it off, and then dip into my medium. And I'm using a good amount of medium for this. And I'm going to go into my blue-green mix, just a little bit of blue, a little bit of green. And we're also using vine charcoal. I love this vine charcoal for sketching. I'm just going to make a really simple, quick outline, just to give me an idea of where I want to go with these flowers. This black vine charcoal, when you put it on, if you don't like it, it just erases so easy just with a paper towel or whatever. So anyway, so I've got some leaves and some foliage on the right side, and I also, on the left side, excuse me, on the left side, I've also got some that I want here on the right side. And you can make as much foliage or as little as you want. Whatever kind of leaves or whatever kind of sticks or whatever you want is fine. So now that I've got that on there, I have a brief idea of where I'm going. And just with a paper towel, I'm not really wiping, I'm just sort of fluffing it like you would with a feather duster. That kind of gets the excess dust off. Or you can blow it, I can blow it too. Anyway, I'm going to start out with little crisscross strokes with my blue-green medium and just going around the outer edges of the flower. I'm adding medium, more water, and I just want to darken the edges some. Just so there's a little color behind where I'm going to put the foliage. And again, it's just big crisscross strokes. And these brushes just do such a magnificent job. I just can't tell you how much I really like them. Anyway, now I want to deepen that color a little bit, and especially where the leaves are going to go. So I'm adding a darker blue-green mix. I'm going to do this both on the left and the right side. Isn't that pretty, the way that blue just mixes with that green? I just love that. Okay, and then just kind of lightly in the center, just sort of blend that in. Don't fill it in completely, but just sort of blend out the edges. I don't want to have a lot of color right in the center there. Okay, now I'm going to start the leaves. I'm going into a good amount of medium and a good amount of blue-green color. And I'm making, you notice that usually when I make leaves, they're quite dark. Well, these I'm making more of a pastel. So I did not fill in the center of the leaf first. I just did the outer edges. And here are some long leaves. This is just filler leaves. If you have a favorite filler, use whatever filler you like. But these go on pretty easy. I like them. And now I want to add just a touch of alizarin. It just changes the tone. I think it makes it really a pretty color of leaf. You notice my strokes are very simple. I'm doing like about 3 or 4 on each side. Then when I wipe the tips of the brush off just to get the deepest color gone. Again, dip into my medium, a touch of water. I don't know, the water seems to help with the medium. It helps the blending ability of it. And you'll notice that this will stay wet, like I say, for a long time. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, now you don't have to do this, but I did. I like to do this. I totally dried my undercoating overnight before I started my leaves. And when I finish these leaves, when I finish putting in all my foliage, I am going to again let this dry totally overnight. It cures the paint so that it doesn't lift when you put another color on top, which I really like. That's something about acrylic. I don't know. You have to treat it different than oils because of the mixing ability of it, I guess, or the blending ability of it. So anyway, continuing on with our leaves, blue and green mostly. Okay, let's have some other long leaves in here. Just put in anything you like. Blue-green combination. How about one leaf down here? Very simple leaf. I like these leaves when they're kind of more on the pastel side like this. Okay, just blend out that tips of the leaves there, just so there's no hard lines. So again, dip in your water, get the brush wet, and just lightly on a paper towel, just blot a little. Pick up some medium, and we're going to start by mixing a yellow color. I'm just going to blend Cad Yellow Light with a little alizarin and some sap green. Now this is going to end up being sort of a mustard color. I don't want a brilliant yellow color, I want just a mustard color. That seems to work out really well. And you don't have to use the yellow. If you have a different color that you'd like, well then that's fine. You can make a different colored flower. But again, big crisscross strokes, making the outside edges very loose and not tight at all, just blending back and forth. And see that amazingly, that already looks like a flower even though we haven't done anything with it. Now I have another flower that I did in pink a while back. If you want a very extended version of this, a step-by-step, I'll put the link below for that flower. It's just called the basic flower also. But it is pink, and it really goes into a lot more detail than what I did with this flower. So right here, just a little bit below center, I'm just putting a little alizarin crimson. And I'm going to fan it out because I want my flower direction to be up towards like a 1 o'clock or 1:30 time. And so I'm fanning out to a 12 and a 3. And then underneath I just do a little happy smile, just a smile, and blend out on the bottom. I want just a little bit more in the center here, just a little bit darker, because I want that to really show up more. Okay, now I want to just wipe that brush out, wipe as much color as I can, clean it out with a little water, and blot dry. Now I'm going to go into white, and I've dipped the brush in the extender. Now I want to start out with a heart in the center of the flower, just a heart shape. And we're going to start making the petals. Now this is the first 2 petals, and this is a little S stroke, and then I'm bringing down, 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 down. That's the first petal. Let's go to the second petal, make a little S stroke, and then down, stroke down, and pull, pull, pull down towards the center of the flower. Everything is directed towards that center there. And if you need to reinforce some of these colors, just go over them lightly again. Okay, a little more white. This time, just kind of draw the outline of a pair of lips, big lips, and a smile underneath the lower, well, not a smile, but the lower lip. Just put the lower lip in. That always tickles my funny bone. Anyway, we're going to start the third petal just by stroking in and down towards the bottom of that petal. And these are little tiny strokes, not big ones like the upper petals. So down, down, and a little S. That's good. Now let's do the fourth one. Start right in the middle of the petal, bring it down, down, down. Whoop, little more paint. And a sort of a small S there. And the other side of that petal, again with white, down, 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 and there's my little S. So now we have the 4 petals. We need to make those petals wrap around the left side and the right side. An S shape, pull, 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 pull. Dip into the medium. And I want to just sort of start the other side here and pull, 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 pull. So now we have the leaves that wrap around to the back. These are very delicate, very pretty. And to reinforce there, just so you can see this better, see how when I put a little more white on there, see how that pops out? You can actually see the petals much clearer. Yeah, that's a very pretty. Okay, let's do another, whoop. Okay, we'll do this first. Dip into more medium, more white. And let's do the petal underneath. We're going to connect it with that 4th petal. Pull, pull, and pull towards the bottom there, towards the center bottom. Again, let's do that. Connect those two. See how that looks like it wraps around now? And you can do this whole filler now with my acrylic medium because it will stay wet long enough that you can work it just fine as long as the undercoating is dry first. I have not tried doing all of the coats all at one time. I don't think that would work. I think you'd have to do this in sections, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'll experiment some more and we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's just reinforce a little bit of these edges here. Kind of make them pop a little bit. It always looks nice when you can do that. And also, how about a ruffle? I have a lot of questions about doing a ruffle. Well, this is how you just little teeny strokes. And see how that just popped out now? Let's reinforce that. Now, working with white, sometimes you do have to go over it several times. Acrylic doesn't, it's just not the beautiful, strong color that oil is. I really prefer oil for doing flowers, but you know, if you're an acrylic painter and you love using acrylics, there's no reason you can't do this with acrylics. Now I'm going to reinforce this right here. That looks good. And let's do just a tiny little ruffle here. Good. So now I'm going to do my filbert brush, and we're going to do the center. So I've got some little medium and water on there and alizarin crimson. And I'm just touching the center of the flower right in the middle. I don't want to make it too heavy along here because I don't want it to stand out like a sore thumb. Just make it dark enough so that it looks a little dark. And pull out these little stamens, these little streaks. And then just go ahead and tap to make your little pollen at the end of those streaks. There. And that's pretty much the flower. I think it's just delightful. I also, I think that it just looks a little like it needs a little something more to me. So let's see, what can we do? How about, let's just go into this brush again and into the medium and a little yellow. Oh yeah, the highlights. Let's highlight the leaves just a tiny bit. And just where that yellow, where I put that yellow at the top, that would be where I would highlight the leaves. And not very much highlight, just a little bit. I think that's probably good. That's plenty. And then also I want to add just a tiny bit more foliage because I think that will balance out the painting a bit more. It just kind of looks just a little lopsided to me. So I think I'll just pull out a few of the small leaves here, just little streaks, and just a little added something. I think that will look nice. Oh, look at that bug. The little stinker. He wanted to paint too, but I showed him. Oh. Anyway, so let's just add a little bit down here. And how about this side here? Just a little bit over here. Yeah, that's perfect. That balances out really nice. I like that. Okay, that's it. I can't show you any more.